What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and I'm not happy with the point. I've said this before. I said it, I think it was against Philadelphia. Like listening to Dan Gargan and Alan Green talk on the TV, oh, this is a good point for Atlanta. Oh yeah, they're gonna be happy to come away from here with a point, talking about how bad the weather is and oh, it's a little bit nippy. And look, there's no excuses. All right, we are a better team. It doesn't matter that we're missing Miguel. It doesn't matter that we let Yamil have a rest in the first half. None of that matters. We're still the better team, and we proved that for most of the first half. But when things didn't start working, when we started missing chances, players got frustrated and they stopped trying. And that pisses me off so much. It's not the draw. Okay, whatever. We drew. Last I checked, Chicago was beating NYCFC, so who knows? Maybe we'll end up a point closer tonight. That's not my problem. My problem is not the result. My problem is the effort. I want to see the effort. I did for the first half. First part of the first half, we looked good. We looked like the best team. Even the first part of the second half, we looked like the better team. We were dominating the game. We were creating a lot of good chances. Probably should have finished a couple of those chances, but we didn't, so let's just go create another one. But instead, what happened? We started giving up. Started getting frustrated. Started making it all dramatic for the cameras. I don't know why players do that nowadays, but they play it up. They play up the drama. And now, instead of getting themselves set up for the next chance, they're... and we're not ready. We're not ready when the corner kick's about to be taken. We're not ready whenever they're about to take the goal kick because we're still pouting. And that pisses me off. To see these professional players that I've seen dominate games, that I've seen be the best players on the pitch, to see them turn into whiny little brats because the game's not going their way, pisses me off. And this is the third time that I've seen this in 3 away games in a row. We've seen just good performance to start off, things stop going their way, now all of a sudden complaining, whining, pouting, I'm going to hold my face and oh, I can't believe I missed that, and not even trying. And it's so frustrating. So, on that little rant, let's talk about the lineup. Honestly, not a bad lineup. I do have one problem, though, and that is, why is Kevin not starting? He got the start last game, did very well. Why is he not starting? I truly don't understand what it takes for him to start. Because, in my opinion, every time he's been on, he's been good. He's not been our best player, but he's been good. He's been solid. He's been doing his job very well. Why don't we have him out there? Because I tell you what, one of the things that kept us out of this game for a majority of it near the end was the fact that we couldn't retain the ball. The fact that it was constantly New England pressure. Guess what? Kevin's in the midfield. They don't have the ball as much. We have it more often because he works to win it back and he makes sure we keep possession. So in my opinion, the lineup should have looked something like this. Back line, that's fine. Gray going out with an injury, a little bit upset with that, a little bit, frustrated that he's injured possibly again, but back line looks good. Chris on the left side, I don't mind that. It gives Yamil a chance to rest. He's looked very dogged and tired recently. That's fine. I don't mind giving Yamil a rest. Tito has been playing pretty well, doing very well to create a lot of dangerous chances going forward. So, yeah, I don't mind seeing him out there, but put Kevin in over Julian. Because this is the second game in a row Julian started. He did have some good moments throughout the game, but ultimately, aside from those few moments, the rest of the game he was pretty much ineffective. And that's my biggest problem with him. I'm trying to pinpoint exactly what my issue with him is because there's just something about him whenever he's on the field. Even if he's scoring or assisting, I'm still frustrated with him for some reason. Watching this game, it made sense now. It's taken me a while, but watching this, I'm just like, this is why. It's because he's not effective if the ball's not near him. He's not effective if he's not given a ton of time and space. So pretty much, if you keep the ball on the other side of the field, or if you put pressure on him, he's not effective. And so, why is he out there? Like I said, he did create some really good chances, but ultimately, that's all he did. Those 2 or 3 chances he created that were really good, probably our best chances of the match, that's all he did. Defensively, he doesn't help us. As far as opening up space for other people, helping the people around him, he doesn't help us there. The only thing he does is he runs in behind the defense very well, and most of the time he puts in a good cross. That's it. And that's where the chances came from. So I don't understand why Kevin, who brings so much more to the field, whether it's his defensive hard work, whether it's keeping possession with some simple passing, whether it's just his ability to take free kicks, whatever. At least he's got a good reason for being out there. So that's my one change I would have made to the lineup. Everything else pretty much would have kept the same. Let's talk about individual performances. Brad in goal, had a few saves to make, had a few good saves to make. Did almost make a mistake near the end, but I think what's important there, they kept focusing on, oh, Brad almost made a mistake there. Oh, let's look at this. Oh, he misjudged it. Oh, no. They just kept playing it up like, oh, look at this mistake he made. He made up for it. He made a mistake. He misjudged it. He made up for it and made the save. Why are we talking about this like, oh, I can't believe he almost made that mistake. Oh, shame on him. What? But yeah, overall, very good game from him. Like I said before, he's just very good at organizing the back line. We did look pretty defensively solid tonight. There were a few times they got in behind later on whenever, Chris moved back to left back and they started getting a lot of people forward. That's when they had their best chances. But even then, we had a good, solid defensive setup in the middle. So anytime they did get behind Chris, it doesn't matter because they get the cross in the box and it's cleared out. So, yeah, I think Brad does have a lot to do with that, and I've talked about that before, how having that veteran goalkeeper in there who's talking to you, who's commanding you, getting you around, that can help you stay organized. So, very good to see. Anton at right back, ultimately pretty good game. I still have a few problems with him as far as there are times where his youth does show. He is a bit naive whenever it comes to making runs up and down the line. When does he need to stay? When does he need to go? Sometimes he gets caught out of position because of that, but I think ultimately he did well tonight. Defensively he did well, made a very important block at one point in the game, and did help out in the attack a little bit as well. So he had those moments, but there's still moments where he's caught out of position, where he's not helping when he should be. Those are the moments that he needs to work on. He needs to figure himself out a little bit more. Michael and Perez in the middle. Michael, very solid game. Just he does what he normally does in there, provides the defensive stability, makes sure they don't have a clear run at goal. Just reads the game very well. Perez had his moments defensively, but ultimately kind of stupid tonight. Just some of his decisions. The reason he gets the yellow, it's not a foul. I totally agree that the ref made a poor decision, but you don't get up, stand in front of the ball whenever the guy picks it up and pushes you back, fall down, and then kick out at the ball and stand up in his way again. You're gonna get carded for that. Like that's stupid. That's and then he just through the rest of the game, it was like every single time the referee made a decision, he's got to argue. He's got to argue. He's got to argue. Leave the complaining about the referees to the fans and possibly Tata. You do your job, all right? I'll complain about the referee. The referee tonight was bad. He made a lot of very soft calls going one way against us. He was bad. But that's not your job. Your job is not to talk to the referee and complain about these fouls. It's not even like your job to talk to the referee at all. That's Michael's job because he's the captain. You go back and do your job, stop complaining, and just get on with the game. So I was getting really frustrated with him as the game progressed, and he just kept complaining and arguing, and it's just like, you're not helping your case. The referee's already against us. You complaining isn't going to help us at all. Greg, for the moments that he was in, looks good. I'm hoping the injury isn't re-injuring whatever it was before. I'm really hoping that it's just a soft one, bruise or something like that, because honestly, we do need him back there. So, yeah, I don't know what to expect. I'll probably go look it up and see what Tata has to say about it, but I'm hoping it's just a minor one that will last him tonight. Probably don't expect to see him against Minnesota, but hopefully get him back full fitness before playoffs at least. Into the middle, Jeff and Carlos. Jeff, once again, very solid in the midfield. Just does a very good job of putting pressure on people. Even if he doesn't win the ball back, he's putting pressure in there, making them have to play, making them possibly make a mistake. It's always good to see. Carlos does a similar thing, except sometimes is a little too wild and reckless, like I've said before. Tonight was no different. Just sometimes slides in and catches the guy instead. Sometimes he goes flying in and gets beat. One thing that I will say about Carlos, though, is that at the end of the game where everybody was dropped way back and almost looking like they were playing for a draw, he was the one guy that was stepping up trying to put pressure on their defense. I like to see that. I like to see a player who wants to win, because we should be wanting to win here. We should be wanting to get three points against a New England side that's faltering big time. So I don't know. I just really shocked that he was the one that was trying to win us the game late on. He was the one working hard to try to win the ball back and possibly create something from all of that. The front three behind Joseph, like I said, Chris on the left side had a fairly decent game. Like I said, once he moved to left back, he's done okay there, but tonight was the first time he's really been tested on that side. They made a couple subs, and one of the guys that they put in on the right side for them was really quick and pacey. Got in behind him, and they were putting a lot of pressure on us high up the field, and he just had no answer for it. Defensively, he didn't do a good job of tracking the man. When he was on the ball, he was too slow to play it, and so he got pressured quickly, and most of the time either just kicked it out of bounds or gave it away. So, yeah, just not enough for him tonight. I would love to see Mikey get a chance. I don't know why Mikey Ambrose is not getting his chance, but I think he provides more for us, at least defensively. And in a game where you want to get the win, one of the things that could help you is to have a defensive line set up that will not give up goals. So you don't have to worry about sending a few players forward trying to maybe pick one late on. But you put an attacking player back there like Chris, now all of a sudden you have to worry about your defensive setup, which means everybody's having to drop back and help defensively, and now we can't get out. So, I don't know, I really liked what I've seen so far from Mikey this season. I hate the fact that he's not getting more of a chance, but hopefully Minnesota, because they're not as good a team and because it's at home and we've done very well at home, I'm hoping Mikey gets his chance there, because we will have a few players out with injuries. We will have a few open spots on the night. I'd love to see him get a chance, so we'll see what happens. But Tito pretty much played in the middle, almost as a secondary striker. They're talking about why it didn't work. Joseph, he's normally up there alone, and he's one-on-one with the defender. Now Tito's up there too, and he's drawing another defender. The reason this didn't work tonight is not because of that. Most of the time, this would work perfectly. In fact, there were times whenever it almost did work perfectly. The problem is Tito's too selfish. And I hate to say it, he's done very well this season. He's done very well to get us some goals when we needed him the most. But in games like this, where shots aren't coming off, they're bad shots, you're dribbling under pressure, you're losing the ball, these are the games where you have to say, all right, tonight's not my night, let me lay it off to somebody, maybe it's their night. And he didn't. He kept trying to dribble people, kept trying to have random shots, hoping they'd come off, and it wasn't working for us. And that was the problem tonight. It wasn't because, there's two up there and that's not normal for them. No, because it worked fine against, who do we play on Wednesday? Why did I forget this now? I'll remember in a second. But anyway, it worked fine on Wednesday. This is what they did on Wednesday. They had Gressel out on the right. They had Tito sort of in the middle, and he stayed up most of the time to help out with Joseph. It worked fine. But tonight it wasn't working because it wasn't coming off for him. It wasn't working for Tito. And that's the problem. Because if it doesn't work for him, he's too stubborn to say, all right, I'm just going to lay it off. He's got to try harder. He's got to try harder. He's got to try harder. And that just leads to more giveaways. So I was really frustrated with him. His hard work was still there, though. So I do appreciate that side of it. It's just sometimes that hard work has to be put in the right direction. Work hard to win the ball back, and then work hard to get it to somebody else who can score. Julian, like I said, not really a big fan of him. A lot of it has to do with just the fact that his play is very one-dimensional. It only works if he's getting in behind the defense and then cutting it back. and it happened 3 times in the game. It looked great during those 3 times, but then the rest of the time he's just not involved. A lot of passes came to him. He should have just settled and played around with it. Instead, he's taken a touch and now it's under his feet. Now he's under pressure and now he gives the ball away, or he just misses it completely and it goes out of bounds. But there were a lot of times where it felt like the ball's coming to him and now it's not our ball anymore. It's just like, how did that happen? And then Joseph up top, kind of another typical frustrating night for him where things aren't coming off for him. Some of his shots aren't coming off. He probably should have had a couple goals that he didn't really, he put himself in a good position, but then he didn't finish. And that frustration starts to grow, and then he starts to, put himself into stupid situations where he really shouldn't. Instead of laying it off and trying to make another run, he decides to take it on his own, and now the ball gets stripped off of him. But by the time we made the sub for him, he was not involved. And we needed somebody up top who's going to win the ball and keep it up there. So, yeah, disappointed for him tonight, but I still think you just got to keep a calm, mature head when things aren't going your way, instead of kind of getting angry and bitter and frustrated and then just giving the ball away. As far as the subs that came on, Yamil came on, probably his worst night so far this season. It's just really, really bad. Giveaways, bad shots, dribbling into pressure, losing the ball in dangerous situations, not doing enough to win the ball back. It was a shocking night from Yamil. And I think that's why you shouldn't have put him back on. You gave him the night off, you let him rest. Greg comes off with an injury, put another fullback in. You don't have to put Yamil in, but he did, and it happened. This is what happens. You don't give a player the proper rest he deserves. He puts in a performance like he does tonight. It was really, really poor from him. Kinwin and Jacob came on for Joseph and Tito in the second half. It was fairly late. I didn't mind the changes. I would have preferred, like I said, to see Kevin come on. And for Jacob, I would have preferred to see him come on for Julian, because I think what it does bringing him in the middle, I don't think that really provides him the space to work. Julian, he's playing right. That's what I've seen. Which means if you're taking Tito off and putting Jacob on, Jacob's in the middle, he's not a player that's going to work in the middle. He's just not that type of player. He's a player that does very well starting out wide and making his runs in. And so I think that was the biggest mistake here. It's not because I wanted to see Julian off, although I did, but I think that's part of the reason why this sub didn't work, is just because that positioning doesn't work for Jacob. The outside does. As far as Kinwin, though, I don't mind seeing him come in because, like I said, Joseph, by the time he was coming off, he was not effective. He was not helping us at all. But as far as their performances, Kinwin came on, immediately involved, defensively, winning headers out of the back, and that's what he provides. He's a big body who can win the ball out of the air, very good at being strong and just keeping forwards, attacking players from winning the ball in our box. I wish he provided a little bit more for us up top, a little bit more composure whenever he wins the ball and holds it, to let our players get up and then lay it off. But he's not really that type of player. He's more a player who's going to flick it on, or if he does win it, he's trying to lay it off immediately, not really trying to hold it up. So, I don't know. It's a minor criticism, but it is something that doesn't really help our style of play. And then Jacob, worked very hard, tried to create as much as he could, but like I said, it's just not his position in the middle. I think he does a lot better from coming out wide. So, but that's it for this game. Like I said, very disappointed with the draw. I think we should have gone and gotten 3 points. Mainly just because, while it is on the road and playing on the road is very difficult, I think the big problem with this is New England were not playing well. New England were really, really bad. Yes, they won against Toronto, but Toronto's not been playing well either. So I look at this and I say, we should have gone in and just put them to the sword. We should have confirmed that this is not a good team. Everybody's talking about, oh, they should have been a better team this year, and all these players are playing for jobs. We should have made sure they don't have jobs, not trying to be harsh or anything, but we showed 2 weeks ago, however long ago it was, we showed that we are 10 times better than this team, and then we come out here tonight and you take, even with the players we've got, we're still the better team. we're still much, much better, but we're not playing together. We're, trying to do stupid stuff. We're trying to dribble, and we're trying to dribble out of pressure instead of just moving the ball, keeping it moving. It should have just been an easy game, but we made it so difficult on ourselves. We gave them the hope to get back into it, and now all of a sudden, for the last 10, 15 minutes, they've got the best chances. They look like the team that deserved to win. They look like the better team. And that's what's frustrating about it. That should not happen to us. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts in this game? Who performed well and didn't perform well? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Atlanta United reviews. I'll see you guys in the next game. Peace out.